I haven't read these questions. First, this is the first time I'm looking at them. So you're also looking at them for the first time. What is attention if it has nothing to do with thought? Is it an activity of the brain? Is it a physical process? How does it come into being? You say we cannot bring about attention by an act of will. What must one not do in order to allow attention to exist? Do nothing. Sorry, I must answer it. What is what is attention if it has nothing to do with thought? Is it an activity of the brain? Is it a physical process? How does it come into being? You say we cannot bring about attention by an act of will. What must one not do in order to allow attention to come into being? Right? You've got the question. He's asking, what is attention? Is it a physical act? Is it the movement of thought? Is it an action of desire, which is the essence of will? Desire is the essence of will, right? How does this attention come about? Which is, can it come naturally, easily, without making tremendous effort, going to colleges, or attending some guru, being trained? Can it all come about, this attention, naturally? We're going to talk over together, right? We are going to look at the question, not the answer. The question is, what is attention? In which is implied not only the hearing of the ear, but hearing without the ear. You understand? And also attention implies seeing, perceiving. Right? Seeing visually, but also seeing with the inner eye, as it were. Right? And attention also means learning. Right? Agree? Seeing, hearing, and learning. Those three things are implied, which means, what is learning? Is it memorizing? You're following me? Somebody say yes. I don't want to go on talking to myself. So is it memorizing? As we do, we're going to go to school, college, university. Memorizing. Storing up knowledge. From books, from professors, from teachers, from housemasters, and so on, which is always accumulating as knowledge and using that knowledge skillfully or not. Right? Carpenter, an apprentice to a master carpenter is learning. the nature of the wood, what kind of wood, the grain, the beauty of the wood, the feeling of the wood, and the instruments which he's employing, and so on. He's learning. And that learning is through experience, day after day, month after month, accumulating knowledge about carpentry, making a master cabinet maker. Right? That's what we call learning. That kind of learning is limited, obviously, because all knowledge is limited. Now, or in the past, or in the future, right? Because all the scientists, biologists, etc., and so on, are accumulating. They killed a man with an arrow or a club at the beginning of time. Now you can blast the whole of millions and millions of human beings with one blow. That's a tremendous accumulation of knowledge to do that, for good or for bad. So, and that knowledge is always limited, right? So is there a learning which is not limited? Fine, go on. I'm just discovering something myself. Is there a learning that is not an accumulative process of knowledge? Learning. In which is implied hearing, not only the words, the significance of the words, your reactions to the words, your responses to certain favorite words, like love and hate and all the rest of it. And also seeing without any prejudice, seeing without the word. You understand? Can you look at a tree without the word? You understand? Have you ever done all this? That means seeing without direction, without motive, without any network of thought or blocking the seeing. And learning, which is a limitless process. So attention implies all that, plus, or the beginning of it, is to be aware, right? Or we are aware, as we sit here, the extent of this tent, the great number of people accumulated here, and the number of posts along there. And to look at all that without a single word, to be aware. But in that awareness, you begin to choose. I like that blue shirt better than what I'm wearing. Right? I like that the way that your hair is done better than mine. Right? You're always comparing, judging, evaluating, which is choice, and to be aware without choice. You understand? Will you, as we are talking, will you do all this? Or you're just listening to words? If we are doing this, then you begin to discover awareness is entirely different from concentration. Concentration implies focusing all thought on a particular subject, on a particular page, on a particular word, which implies cutting off all other thoughts, building a resistance to every other thought, which then becomes narrow, limited, right? So concentration is limited. But you have to concentrate when you are doing something, washing dishes. You have to wash the dishes very carefully. Right kind of soap, right kind of water, you know, all this. And awareness without choice, which means without concentration. To be aware of all this without judging, evaluating, condemning, comparing. And from that, move, which is attention, right? Which is natural. That is, I want to listen to this story you're telling me. Very exciting thriller. And I listen to you very carefully. Or you're telling me something very, very serious. And I'm so eager, so attentive to understand what you're saying. I understand what I'm thinking about, that's irrelevant. But I'm tremendously concerned with what you are saying. Therefore, I'm all attention, all my nerve, my whole being say, what are you talking about? I want to understand. In that attention, there is no me, right? I get it? When there is this tremendous attention, which means all your energy is given to understand what you are saying, I'm not thinking about myself. Therefore, there is no center in me that says, I must attend. Right? I want to figure it out.
But to arise questions.
Come on.
Come up.
What's that?
To arise questions.
That's the right, what's the right question here? The gentleman asks, if I understand rightly. Sorry, if you ask questions from the audience, we can never get through this. Not that we must get through it, but there are too many people, if you don't mind. What is the right question here, and what is the right answer? If it is the right question, you will never ask it. Now, this is not just cleverness. A right question, if you put it, you have the answer. But the right question is not put because you want an answer, you are concerned, you are worried, you are biased. You follow? So the right question, when you put it, the right question is the right answer.